Hi, my name is EJ Massa. You know me. I'm always making ribs, reviewing a silly grill attachment, or making mutant food that nobody should actually make or eat. But let's say it's a Saturday and I just want to have a meal and make a meal for my family. Well, I'm not going to go making a Big Mac turkey. My wife refuses to eat them. Well, one of my favorite things to make, especially recently, is chicken cooked on the Pit Barrel Cooker Jr. And the same fan who sent all those buffalo wing sauces sent this marinade, Chiavettas. And I think it's so tasty, especially when the chicken is cooked over charcoal in the Pit Barrel Cooker. And if you want to know the two cookers I use most, it's the Weber Summit Charcoal Grill, which is now renamed the Summit Kamado, and the other I like to use almost as much is the Pit Barrel Cooker Jr., especially for chicken. If you can believe it, I did my Pit Barrel Cooker Jr. review 6 years ago. And I just love how easy it is to just light it up and cook. It only does one temperature, which is around 270 to 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and you just time the cooks to that. You just put the food in, let it cook, and it comes out tasty. Hanging food over the fire is always cool as hell. Just like me. I love the simplicity of it. No fiddling with vents. Some people do modify it, but to me, that defeats the purpose of it. I leave it as it is. Now, Chiavetta's marinade is famous in the Buffalo area. Apparently, it gained prominence at volunteer firefighter events catered by Tony Chiavetta. Now, by itself, it's very vinegary. It almost reminds me of balsamic vinegar in taste. And it's okay by itself, but the real magic is unlocked when you cook the chicken with this sauce over charcoal. It adds a much needed bass note to the high strings of the vinegar. The chicken I'll use for today's cook is this organic butcher box chicken. After unwrapping, I took out the bag of guts from the cavity. I'll use that for making soup some other day. Here's the soup I made some other day. Then I'll cut the chicken into halves. You might be asking, why not use the turkey hanger accessory from the Pit Barrel review? It's mostly so I can fit the chicken halves into a Ziploc bag, which will contain the marinade. I also like how the chicken halves cook slightly more even. My wife got me these OXO chicken shears for Christmas, and yes, I'm the type of person who is very excited about getting chicken shears as a Christmas present. Using the shears makes removing the spine a breeze. Then you can do the customary Sub-Zero fatality recreation.
Fatality.
And yes, I've used this joke multiple times in my videos. Please don't send me to joke jail. Oh no, I'm in joke jail. I snipped through the wishbone and then ran the shears along the breastbone to separate the chicken into two halves. And there you go, two handsome looking halves of chicken. I put each half into a Ziploc bag and poured some of the marinade into each bag. I put those bags into the fridge for about 3 hours, making sure to flip them every once in a while. You could do more than 3 hours, like you could do it overnight, but I feel like this sort of over-marinates it, meaning the texture starts to degrade a bit. Here's how I light the pit barrel nowadays. I pour some charcoal into the basket, then I use a propane torch to light the center of the piled charcoal. I usually burn them for about a minute until the center is ashed over. I lowered it into the barrel and put the rebar through the holes, then closed the lid. And I let it come up to temperature for 15 minutes. While the cooker heats up, I put the hooks into the chicken by lifting up a wing and piercing through the natural crease in the armpit here. Goes through between the breast and the back. Again, lifted the wing on the other, found the natural crease in the armpit, or wing pit I should say, and pierced through. There we go, ready to hang. I poured the leftover marinade from the bag into a bowl because I'll use this periodically to baste the meat. I should note, do not use it to baste the meat after you're done cooking because obviously raw chicken was soaking in it. With the cooker ready to go, I carefully lowered the chicken halves into the barrel, hanging the hooks on the rebar. Then I closed it up. The recipe section of Pit Barrel says chicken should cook for about 2 hours, but this is a small organic chicken, so that usually takes about an hour and a half to cook. Periodically, I removed the chicken from the cooker, basted it with some of that leftover marinade, and after an hour and a half, the chicken appears to be done. I prefer the breast to be 155 degrees and the legs to be at least 165 degrees. To finish it off, I put the chicken in a baking dish, poured some fresh marinade from the bottle, and then wrapped it in foil and let it sit for about 10 minutes. And then it's finished. The meat is so wonderfully juicy, with a bright tanginess from the vinegar, and the charcoal smokiness brings it home. On the pit barrel, the skin doesn't get crispy, especially with the marinade, but the skin is amazingly flavorful, so it doesn't matter that much. Of course, my favorite cut is the chicken quarters with a drumstick and thigh. You get plenty of that delicious skin. That's definitely been my favorite way to make chicken recently, and I highly recommend you try it. If you don't have a pit barrel, make sure you at least involve charcoal in the cook, whether it's indirect or direct on the grill. I really do think it adds a magic to the marinade. If you don't do it, it may taste like balsamic chicken or something. Another marinade I enjoy on the grill is the Stubbs marinade, which is also a great choice. Anyways, that's all I have for now. Until next time, bye.